May 8th, 1875. That was the date of a terrible shipwreck. The SS Schiller wrecked off the coast of the Isles of Scilly near Cornwall, England. And 90% of the people on that boat died in that wreck, and one of them was Dr. Susan Dimock. And this is her headstone at Forest Hill Cemetery in Jamaica Plain. Susan Dimock was a really exceptional human being. She grew up in the South, moved north during the Civil War, and intersected with some people who were connected to the New England Hospital for Women and Children. And the New England Hospital for Women and Children was the first hospital in all of New England where women doctors served women patients. And Susan connected with them because she had a lifelong interest in medicine and had been reading medical books since she was a kid. And they took her in as a student and then thought she was so very, very wonderful and brilliant and driven that a lot of the women collected money and sent her to a very high quality medical school in the University of Zurich, in Zurich, Switzerland. She studied there, was at the top of her class, did an exceptional job, and came back and became the resident physician and the most important surgeon at this hospital. And she might have been the most qualified woman surgeon at that time. This is in 1872 in all of America. And she ran the hospital for 3 years, did an extraordinary job, made a lot of friends, impressed people, and then needed to take a break because she'd been working 24/7 for such a long time. And she and her close companion, Bessie Green, both went over with another friend, Carrie Crane. They were all connected to the hospital. And they went on the Schiller on a vacation, and the ship wrecked. And so this is a memorial to her. The hospital she worked for was founded back in 1862 in the midst of the Civil War, and it lasted until 1969. And at that time, they decided to switch from a hospital to a health center, and it became known as the Dimock Community Health Center, today the Dimock Center. And this is Susan's grave, which in 1995, I helped we created a group called the Dimock Heritage Fund, and we fundraised to replace the old stone, which had almost completely diminished. It had just kind of melted away. It was a kind of stone that just wasn't going to last, a marble. So I've been working on her biography, the first ever biography of Susan Dimock, at the Women's Studies Research Center at Brandeis University. And I've become very involved in this. It's a huge project. No one's ever done this kind of in-depth research on her before, and I'm obsessed. And this is a poem I wrote about this for Susan Dimock. Her once chiseled headstone stands on the grassy ledge. Patched and pitted by moss and lichen, it grips the hillside with a will of authority, a whisper of hope. The words are half gone, her name full forgot, but that marble memorial, melted by time, remembers when they gathered there in tearful farewell. Farewell is what she gently bid as her ship swept seaward just weeks before, but well her schooner scarcely fared when downed, ground, and battered on a rock-riddled shore. Survivors, and there were a few, recalled she stood on pitch-dark deck, arms round her love, faced port side full, then stared straight down that deadly gale with a will of authority, a whisper of hope. I sigh each time I touch her stone and strain to hear a word, a prayer. A calm descends, a breeze drifts by. My hands pull back. I'm not alone. I vow that I will tell your tale, that more will come to gather here, to fill a space perhaps in me, to fill a life perhaps for you, since those who wept and wished you well no longer walk this way. Susan Dimock, rest in peace.